David Menzies for the Rebel News here outside the Eastminster United Church in Toronto. Well, folks, sometimes the question arises, is nothing sacred? And I think the answer to that query is yeah, nothing is sacred. Indeed, check out the nativity scene here at the Eastminster Church. Instead of the traditional baby Jesus in a manger, this scene depicts Jesus as a refugee claimant at a detention center. As you can see, the baby is behind bars and it is wrapped in a solar blanket, which is supposedly how the refugees are detained in U.S. Migration centers. Now, I did reach out to the people behind the display at the church. They weren't here and there was no one else available to come on camera. But apparently the whole idea of this makeshift nativity display is to raise awareness. Indeed, the name of the display is the Detained Christ, and there is some copy that accompanies the display. It says, in recent years, there has been growing awareness of the ways in which migrants and refugees face detainment, deportation, and separation from their families. The actions from North American governments has led to increased policing and incarceration of migrants and refugees, especially those who are racialized. At the U.S.-Mexico border, it has become commonplace to see children separated from parents and for refugee claimants to be held in detention centers in inhumane conditions. As a signatory to the Safe Third Party Agreement, Canada is complicit in the actions of the United States. Well, you know, folks, I think that anyone or any entity is welcome to exercise their freedom of speech and freedom of expression, but I would imagine some Christians might find this display disrespectful. There's also a bit of fake news in the so-called inhumane conditions at these U.S. detention centers. And furthermore, you have to wonder if we as Canada are already doing more than our fair share. I mean, the city of Toronto alone, as we reported earlier this month, the housing costs for refugee claimants alone is now $75 million per year. And shelter beds, back in January 2016, 11% were occupied by refugee claimants. Now it is more like 36%. So I don't know. I also think, too, that if you are a sovereign nation, you have the right to borders. You can't espouse a philosophy of no one is illegal, because if you do, then you really aren't much of a sovereign nation to begin with. But I guess in the Department of Silver Linings, at least this nativity scene isn't as bad as one in California that was unveiled at a Methodist church earlier this month. It depicted Jesus, Mary, and Joseph in separate cages adorned by barbed wire. Way to go, guys, because nothing says Christmas more than a scene that looks lifted from a concentration camp. For the Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, if you appreciate the kind of reporting we bring you here at the Rebel News, why not consider becoming a premium content subscriber? Simply go to premium.rebelnews.com. That's premium.rebelnews.com. Sign up and never miss another Rebel video.